This is AI.R. Artists in Residence Broadcasting, coming to you once a week from New York City. Hello, I'm John Cullum, and this is Emily Frankel, my wife.
It is Emily Frankel, and this is John, and we're going to talk about...
What are we going to talk about, Em?
John, I don't know how you can handle
What?
rehearsals and performances in the kind of shows that you've done every once in a while, book in hand, a show that you do, not by memorizing the script, but by holding the book while you're performing, and there are people watching that performance.
That's right. Well, there are different kinds of book readings. If it's just behind a table, all I have to do is make the print very large, which you know I have to do. That's a special thing that I have to do with all my scripts nowadays, is to make mine very large, and that's difficult when you have to get them from PDF and all that sort of thing. But once I get it, I've got that right in front of me, and I can do okay at a table book
But I'm
reading.
not talking about table. I'm talking about performing when they call book in hand. When you've done some performances like that.
You mean that's called a staged reading.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's if you have the book in hand and you're walking around and you're doing movement and
Choreography. You do real choreography.
And they quite often well, in any case, that's more difficult for me, because if you lose your place, you're worse.
Oh boy!
And quite often, when I'm doing those kind of readings, I will read the wrong line, or I will bobble a line, and those are the most difficult kinds of
Well,
reading.
how do you handle it?
You just screw up, and I don't like them.
But you do them quite a bit, and you've done them with some very well-known people too.
Well, but I think that you think that the readings I've been doing are staged readings. Very few staged readings. They do them at a place called Encores, and I've done...
Right, I remember those.
Yes, and I screwed that one up.
Did you? I heard that you were wonderful.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you heard that.
You're usually wonderful.
It's nice to hear it. I wish you'd told me sooner.
I did tell you, but you forgot.
That's right.
But
just like I forget my lines a lot of times.
No, you don't.
Well, no, I don't. But staged readings are particularly difficult because you have the book in hand that you can refer to, but you don't want to. And if you don't refer to them, you get lost sometimes. You look at the script.
And you're singing a song and doing some movement with the book in hand.
Well, I almost always try to put the book down for the songs, and they even allow you to do that. They didn't used to allow you to do that. Equity had a rule that you had to hold the book, and then they relaxed the rule and said you can put the book down for musical numbers. And then of course every director.
Dear old Equity, always in there helping the actors.
Yes,
oh yeah,
giving in for the actor. Yes.
Giving in to the producers is what I see.
Well, then what happens, Emily, is you get a director, and you can understand if you were directing a scene and you saw people with the book in the hand, and then you saw them put it down and sing the number, and you think to yourself, "My goodness, why can't we just put the book down?" Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing a show that.
Well, the one you did, you're not doing it right now, but you were working on it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And but it's a little. The director now wants it book out of hand for the entire show, and that takes as much time and energy and effort as it would be if it were a Broadway show. Because you have to learn the lines, you have to learn the blocking, you have to know the music, and that's all you do for a regular staged production. So
and they don't pay you for doing a show.
No, they pay you peanuts. But
how much is peanuts? $1,000?
Sometimes it's $1,000, sometimes it's $200. Most of the times it's $100 gratuity. And it's
Isn't
bullshit.
that interesting? No. We don't use that kind of word on our air broadcasting.
Well, sometimes I get very annoyed because it's not just for me, because But
Well,
they take advantage.
What tickles me is that
It goes back to Michael Bennett when he rehearsed all summer long in chorus line and didn't pay the performers at all, and then he put the show together in a very short time because he'd been rehearsing it all summer long. And not only that, he was getting a lot of ideas from the performers, and they never got credit for it.
Well, John, you certainly answered my question.
Yes, and people are going to really get
And I'm going
ticked
to
off.
applaud you
You're going to get
for
some
your bravery.
Yeah, well,
Thank you very much, John.
Well, thank you, Emily. You're welcome. I hope we don't get too many letters on this criticizing me.
No, you won't.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed seeing you. We'll see you next week. Okay? This is AI.R. See you next week.